to watch this video, then there is a good chance that you will recognize a Lamborghini when you see one. And this is the very latest from Sant'Agata Bolognese. It's called the Huracan. And there is a lot of weight on the shoulders of this baby Lamborghini. And it's not because it walks in the shadow of its bigger and more powerful sibling, the Aventador, but because it replaces the Gallardo, a car that changed Lamborghini's fortunes.
The Gallardo was around for 11 years, 14,000 of them were sold over those years, and it wasn't because it was the quickest or the most precise supercar you could buy. It was to do with the fact that it had so much emotion in it. It was so Lamborghini.
Which loosely translated means being borderline homicidal. And that is frowned upon in our society today. So something had to change without putting Lamborghini DNA in cold storage.
So the Huracan doesn't just have to be a better supercar, it also has to be a pure Lamborghini.
To do that, Lamborghini started from scratch. The Huracan has a new carbon fiber and aluminum chassis. It's got new adjustable suspension. It's got a new four-wheel drive system, new brakes, bespoke tires, and a new gearbox. But sitting in the back of this Huracan LP 610-4 is a 90-degree V10. Sounds familiar?
What makes Lamborghinis Lamborghinis are their engines. And it's really a good thing that Lamborghini have held on to the 5.2-litre V10 that was there in the Gallardo, although it has been tweaked a bit for the Huracan.
The V10 now sports direct and indirect fuel injection for better responsiveness, efficiency, and lower emissions. It also has retuned intake and exhaust manifolds. So all of that also results in 602 bhp of power and 57.1 kilograms of torque, 75% of which is available from 1000 RPM. So this V10 is a lot more potent just about everywhere.
The power delivery is in one clean sweep and it gets stronger as you head towards the red line, which is 8,500 RPM.
And the sound that it makes as it gets there is Lamborghini's slice of heaven.
The engine is mad enough, but what multiplies the madness is the gearbox.
That's because Lamborghini has finally got a dual clutch gearbox. This 7-speed unit is shared with the R8.
Gearbox is truly stellar. I mean, when you're really pushing it, when you're in that last 2000 RPM range and it swaps chords, it is truly seamless. It's incredibly good.
The result is a 0 to 100 km/h dash in a company claim 3.2 seconds, which makes it faster than the R8 V10 Plus and the Ferrari 458 Italia. 200 km/h is a claimed 9.9 seconds, and top speed is 325 km/h.
With a four-wheel drive system, of course, you can put the power down cleaner, corner harder, and really enjoy this.
The spanking new electronically controlled all-wheel drive system, along with the new chassis, changes the way you treat a Lamborghini.
The Huracan just feels easier to drive faster and you can enjoy it more. Some of the sections that we were driving on, the tarmac was wet. Pushing the Gallardo would have been, well, heart and mouth kind of driving. But here in the Huracan, you could push, you could enjoy, and you didn't feel tense. This is just more accessible performance.
Not only does it have sophisticated electronics to control how it behaves, there's a new electromechanical steering and magneto-rheological dampers as well. All of this helps to turn the Huracan into a great all-rounder. At the upper end of the madness level is the Corsa mode.
You have Corsa where the throttle is really sharp and ESC is switched off, so you gotta be on your toes when you're driving at that. Best reserved for a racetrack. When you find a good road and you want to have some fun, you can move to the sport mode where the suspension becomes firmer, steering becomes a bit heavier, and you get more sharpness from the throttle response, and there's a bit more crackle and pop from the exhaust. And all of it put together doesn't feel forced, it just feels more enjoyable.
Lamborghini say that the Huracan is lighter by 10% and torsionally stiffer by 50% when compared to the Gallardo. And on an open road, you can enjoy the benefits of all of that.
This thing can hold a line. That four-wheel drive system keeps it squished nice and tight. For anything you want to do on the road, this has got enough nip, tuck, grip to keep you entertained and to keep you going.
But for the more everyday kind of driving, you have Strada mode.
So the suspension is really quite blind, soaks up our roads quite well, and the exhaust is quieter, steering is lighter, so really quite friendly in that sense.
It even has a feature to lift the nose up to crawl over speed breakers. So this has become a pretty civil Lamborghini, but it still isn't straightforward.
Now, it wouldn't be a Lamborghini if it didn't have its quirks, and well, you do have a few of them here. The switches, for instance, you got to know where they are and what they do to get them to work. The simple ones, of course, like for the windows. You want the window to go down? Push the switch up. Makes perfect sense. Want it to go up? Press down. The indicator switches are here on the steering wheel, so is the pass flash switch here, and the headlight switches are tucked away at the back. And to engage reverse, the first time you look at the lever, you wonder what to do with it. Well, it's basically pick it up to engage reverse.
And then there are the slats that make the view out of the back virtually non-existent. Thankfully, there is a reversing camera for parking duties. And I certainly can't deny that the cabin looks properly modern and is just richer in finish than before. And when it comes to design, I think Lamborghini has got it just right. It's sharp and edgy without being over the top. And at the same time, it has a nice softness to it. So the Huracan is a different Lamborghini. It isn't tame, but it isn't as bloodthirsty either. And for most people buying Lamborghinis, that is good news.
What this feels like at the end of the day is a more sophisticated, easier to use, more fun Lamborghini. In many ways, it just feels like a baby Aventador.
And that, for the baby Lamborghini, is a big compliment.